Juice. Yes?
Oh, he's tinkering.
Juice.
Nope. He's tinkering.
Juice. Are you ready?
Yes.
Ed, are you ready?
Yes.
Oh, let's get ready to suck it!
Welcome, everybody, to Juice Pro Wrestling, episode 16. The next episode. Oh, get it, Ed. With me tonight in the studio with El Hugo Libre is, as always, Sretton the Savage. How you doing, Sretton?
Very, very good.
Very, very swole. Big Ed the Assassin. What's up, Ed?
What up, home slash?
Oh, Danny. And tonight we have a very special guest, Flying Ryan Beal. How you doing, Ryan?
Guys, I'm doing awesome. How are you?
Oh, doing fucking great.
That's number one.
Oh, yeah. So we got a lot of stories and a lot of news and a lot of shit to talk about tonight, you know?
Yeah, we got the, Extreme Rules?
Extreme Rules was last night. We don't need no sound bites for that shit.
Was it bad?
It was pretty bad. As everybody that listens to JP Dub is well aware of, and anybody that watches WWE, I still hate fucking calling it that, you know? Get the F out! It was really fucking bad. Though here, I'll put it to you this way, and to kind of tap into our little news segment real quick. The whole reason why I resubscribed under another alias, actually under the JP Dub Podcast Gmail, so I could get the month free. Sorry, Vince and Steph and Trips.
Triple H.
I subscribed to that so I can get the month free because I didn't plan on watching it. And then as I'm flicking around on Twitter, which you can follow at JP Dub Podcast on Twitter, I see Hulk Hogan and WWE post a tweet that Hogan had been reinstated into the fucking WWE Hall of Fame.
Pump the brakes. Did you just say reinstated?
Reinstated. What do you guys think about that?
I'm back, brother.
Yeah. All of us here, which I'm so glad because, you know, the greatest of all time and probably all of our opinions.
Oh, for sure. And you know why?
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I was never a big Hogan fan as a wrestler, but you can't deny on how big and what he did.
What he did for the business.
Yeah. He's the Babe Ruth. He's the Babe Ruth.
He is.
Absolutely.
People still to this day that don't know, even young kids that don't know wrestling, know the name Hulk Hogan. Yeah. That's how far his charisma and personality took him.
He was bigger than wrestling too, because you look at
just ask Hollywood.
Look in the '80s. Hulk Hogan was everywhere.
Yeah, AWA. That's when the Hulkamania started out.
And Vern Gagne wasn't smart enough to capitalize on that one.
And Vince snatched him up.
He did.
Vince's dad fired Hogan for appearing in Rocky 3.
Yep.
You know, because Vince's dad was nothing but wrestling.
Yeah, wrestling.
Yeah. And Vince was always more towards the entertainment side.
We're talking Vince Sr.
Vince Sr., fired Hogan because Hogan appeared in Rocky 3. I'm sure it was more money.
Meatball! It's the ultimate male versus the ultimate meatball!
Hey, can I get a picture with you?
Yeah. He did want a picture.
The family, the picture with you. Thunder lips.
He's like, take it easy. You know.
Frank Stallone, come in here and take a picture.
Yeah, Frank took that bump. It wasn't Sly.
You know why? Because Hogan knows best.
That's right. But I am so fucking excited that he's back where he belongs, because that company would not be where it's at. It wouldn't be a publicly traded company. It would not be anywhere near where it's at, redundancy at its finest, without Hulkamania, dude. I mean, I'm sorry. There's no Stone Cold. There's no John Cena. There's none of that shit without them breaking big time in the 80s with Hogan.
Hey, what we were chatting the other day. you were telling me what Cody Rhodes thinks the greatest match of all time was The Rock versus Hulk Hogan?
Yes.
Now, I remember watching that match, and like you got chills.
I lost my shit.
Yeah, like
dude.
I got chills, and the best
I'm
part
getting
about it
chills
was
right now hearing
I
you
know,
talk about it.
The best part about it is like because they were in Canada, weren't they? For that,
Yeah.
Toronto.
Yeah,
Yep.
they were in
Sky
Toronto.
Dome.
Toronto, a shout out to Toronto. You motherfuckers know you're wrestling, and I love
Wrestling, yeah.
you. Yeah.
But Hogan was supposed to, Hogan was promoted as the heel.
He
and-
was the heel.
And he went
and
over
in-
his face.
Just and they were smart enough to work it too.
And
Read the crowd
At the time, The Rock was the biggest face, the biggest name, even over Stone Cold at that time in the company. And they paired that up. They had that great match, and I remember losing my fucking shit because when he came out and he's doing all the flexing and he pushed him over the first push like in the match, and the crowd's losing their shit, and like Hogan's just flossing on him, like.
Well, and the best part about it is Rock was like the baby face, and like for example, like now they're pushing Roman, right?
Yeah.
And it's like oh my god, this is terrible because they keep pushing him.
Right.
They gave Rock a little push, and just everybody ate it up. They loved it. They loved the
Rock
you
had
jabroni,
charisma.
you candy ass, and all this other stuff.
He
they
stole
loved it.
jabroni from the Sheik, though.
Yeah, I know, but still, it's awesome. And then you're expecting Rock to be the babyface and everything like that. Then Hogan comes out and just takes the show. That right there also speaks to Hogan's knowledge of wrestling, because I don't think WWF expected that, and Hogan
either.
Hogan took the lead on that one and was like, "Listen, we're doing it this way now, kid."
And my thing with that match was for them, like you said, for them not to expect that was retarded, because if you look, we're talking about the biggest name ever, and especially at that point, to ever be in that company, and what made them what they were. He had been gone from the company for like almost 10 years when he left and went to WCW.
Yeah,
Everybody was wanting Hogan back. It was always a what if. It was always something you never thought you would ever see.
What if Hogan and Stone Cold?
But
What if Hogan and
I hated that whole the second coming of the NWO, because like
they
Vince,
did it
the
wrong.
owner of the company, is
I'm gonna kill it. Yeah, I'm bringing the NWO.
I'm gonna inject it with a poison.
Yeah, lethal dose.
yeah, that was the
I ain't gonna lie, that was dumb, but
that was
I was
the
still
worst
hyped.
setup. But I thought it was the absolute worst setup, because the NWO, why it worked, because it was this gradual thing, and it worked like they were really invading the company.
Yeah,
well,
back
Vince McMahon, everybody knows that he owns the company,
and we talk about that in episode 9. If you go back on JP Dub podcast in the archives, you could check that out. We touch a lot on that, but that feeling was super real, because we've all, we're a little bit older now, but back then we're going, 20 years ago now?
Well, the
you didn't
NWO
know
was
if that was real or not.
Yeah, exactly. The NWO.
No.
You remember when they were talking on how they had
There was no social media to blur the lines, and nobody knew the backstage shit.
Nobody knew. And there was at that point there was a whole bunch of lines being blurred.
Oh man, and it was
Pillman
great.
was the best at that.
Yeah,
Pillman
But that when the
He
NWO
was,
came
the
in
loose
there,
cannon.
with Hall and Nash, and I never liked Nash very much. I never. thought he
Nobody
was
ever
very
really
good.
did.
I think he was one of the
were just
luckiest
talking about
guys. He was always, in WCW, he was. Vinny
got the
Vegas.
look.
He was either Vinny Vegas or Oz.
Oz, remember that?
Oh,
shit?
that was wow. He was up there. That was up there with the Ding Dongs.
And then remember when The Rock made fun when they came back? He's like, Diesel, hey.
yeah. Hey, and wasn't Kane the fake Diesel?
Kane was. Yeah,
Yeah,
he
he
was.
was.
Yeah.
Glenn Jacobs.
Isaac
Yankum, DDS,
Yeah,
Jerry
Jerry
Lawler's.
Lawson, personal dentist.
Yeah. We back in the WCW when they had like that invasion era and stuff like that with the NWO.
Mm-hmm.
You're
Well,
right.
that was after the invasion.
Oh yeah, after the invasion when there was really no
There was no
social
names.
media, there was nothing like that. But when they would jump people backstage and
Right.
everything like that, people who didn't know, they thought it was legitimate. There was cops that got called on them and everything like that.
I remember them launching Rey Mysterio against the fucking trailer in the Outback. Kevin Nash picked him up. Yeah, like a fucking dart.
That was one of the greatest things I've ever seen. That
and
was
neighbors
awesome.
in Florida were calling the cops.
That's the one, yes.
because they thought it was fucking real. That's how real that shit was. And here's the unfortunate thing for everybody in wrestling nowadays. These kids and these fans are never going to have that again.
No.
You're never going to have that.
it's too G-rated, and hey, we got to do what's good for the for the
But
company.
not even that. It's because it's so exposed now. even if it is like, I mean, there's still, and that's the whole point of this podcast is, you know, like Wrestling Discovery, to find shit outside of fucking WWE. It's not as, there's no kayfabe anymore. It's not as real. When we were younger, you know what I'm saying? We were like the last generation of kayfabe, where it was like, there was still such a belief, like, not just like, oh yeah, well, dude's getting fucking hurt, but that everything they did was real. Like, these motherfuckers were straight invading a company and doing some gangsta ass shit, you know, like.
And they played it up too. It was like Vince sent them there, you know, without actually saying that, but it was sort of.
It was the perfect
There was
storm.
actually
Up north.
a lawsuit on that.
There's a thing
at one
in
point.
entertainment that, let me tell you guys, that works. And it's one fucking word. It's called timing.
Yep.
Whether it's comedy, any form of entertainment you want to do, it's timing. And that was the perfect fucking storm. That was it. And that will be forever probably my best time in wrestling, unless something happens now that nothing's ever going to change my opinion on it. And that was I get wet dreams still.
Wet dreams for wrestling.
Yeah. To that period in time. And Shred knows what I'm talking about. He's a big WCW guy back then.
Yeah, I don't get wet dreams, though.
Yeah, he gets dry dreams. Sorry about your luck. Sorry about your damn luck. Shout out to James Storm.
So with that being said, why don't we go into the news?
All right, ready. Let's see. Which story we're going to go with first?
Well, hey.
Did you guys talk about the event?
No, let's go over that real quick. This is
sucked.
a news thing. This happened last night. WWE Extreme Rules. Here's my beef, all right? If you're going to still fucking milk off the ECW, and I don't care what any of you smart fucking marks out there say, they're milking off the ECW shit still because Extreme Rules, all right? I think the only extreme match that happened was on the fucking pre-show, and it was a tables match with the New Day.
Yep.
Unfortunately, I had missed that match because I was drinking Bud Heavies, and I had missed that. And it was New Day versus Sanity, and Sanity ended up coming out winning, which I don't mind that. I'm a big fan of Eric Young, you know, another fucking TNA Impact alumni. Good for him. Good he's in WWE doing shit. He's a good worker. He's a good talent. But other than that, you had James Ellsworth suspended in the fucking shark cage, which there were some funny moments in that match, but it was all shtick. Yeah, I don't want to see shtick. I like shtick, but I don't want. That's all WWE is anymore. You have a pay-per-view called Extreme Rules, and every time the announcers, Michael Cole and them, would be sure to remind you, oh, well, you know, this ain't a no disqualification match, so he can't do that. Like, why the fuck do you have it on a pay-per-view called Extreme Rules then? You know what I'm saying? The only match that stuck out to me in the whole time, and it was Braun Strowman versus Kevin Owens, right? In a cage match. You know, the match starts off, Kevin Owens is selling the whole, like, I don't want to fight you, you know, and then Braun's like talking like, hey, fight me. And I thought that was kind of cool because Owens is wearing the shirt that says fight anyone, but he wouldn't fight Braun because look at fucking Braun Strowman. No one wants to get these hands. Hashtag. So he finally does shit and they're fucking fighting. They're doing whatever. Kevin Owens brings out some handcuffs, fucking straps Braun on the ropes, and he climbs the cage and he's blowing Braun a kiss. And you knew what was going to happen. Braun's a fucking beast. He breaks the fucking handcuffs off and he climbs up after and catches Kevin Owens. So long story short, they get up on the top of this fucking steel cage and Braun grabs him like he's going to do a choke slam. And it was basically like a push / choke slam. It kind of looked more like a push, but it was devastating nonetheless. Throws Kevin off the top of this cage. I mean, he does like an old school Hell in a Cell Mick Foley thing through the fucking announce table.
Not as good, though.
Not as good, but still fucking stellar to where we got EC Dub chants. We had holy shit chants, which in professional wrestling, if we can't get a holy shit, holy shit, holy shit, then you ain't got shit. I fucking absolutely love that. That, to me, was the best, most poppin' moment of the night. You had the AJ Styles versus Rusev match. You know, I love both of those guys, but it didn't do anything for me. You had, who else? The B Team, which it consists of Curtis Axel, son of Mr. Perfect, who I love, and Bo Dallas, son of Erwin R. Shyster, who was, you know, a.k.a. Michael Wall Street in WCW.
Or Mike Rotunda.
Yeah, Mike Rotunda. Uncle Barry Windham.
Yeah.
You know? And Blackjack Mulligan, which was Barry Windham's dad, right?
Yeah.
And
Kendall Windham.
Yeah, Kendall.
Kendall going to Pop?
Is Kendall? Isn't he dead?
No, he's alive.
Oh, okay.
Blackjack Mulligan and Kendall were they went to prison for counterfeiting.
Really?
Yeah. That's why Barry was in the WWF, and it was the WWF at the time as the Widowmaker. He was
I remember
undefeated,
that.
and then he was gone before Survivor Series.
Right
when they got popped by the Feds. But yeah,
short-lived. He didn't get that Road Warrior pop. He got that fucking legal pop.
Legal pop. Yeah,
he got that Tootsie Pop. So going back to that, Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt lost the Raw Tag Team titles, which you know what? They lost it to the B Team, whatever, great. Not good tag champions in my opinion, but the fans gravitate towards them. But you know what? WWE fans, new generation WWE fans, in my opinion, are a bunch of fucking numpties. You know, whatever. So good for you guys. I'm glad you're happy, but I'm glad that Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt lost the titles, because then immediately after, Matt Hardy's tweeting saying maybe it's time for us to go our own way, which is, it needs to happen.
It does.
I was so pissed that they had this program with Bray and Matt, and you know, it was actually it was kind of cool, whatever. Woken Matt has never been the same as Broken Matt was in TNA Impact. It just hasn't been as entertaining. And so they go through this feud. Matt ends up beating Bray and deleting him. Delete! And next thing you know, Bray comes out and he's his fucking tag partner. It's like, come on, man. How many, you guys know, the Bray Wyatt character was basically a second generation Waylon Mercy. But,
yeah, he was kind of that. He kind of had tendencies of like Charles Manson,
right? But he was cool.
Yeah.
He was like a little mysterious. He had like, I remember Jake the Snake being all about him in his promos.
I was just gonna say,
you don't have to yell.
Reminds
you know,
me of that Jake the Snake, calm and collective.
Yeah,
and
you don't have to yell at you like. You know, all the 80s promos, well, you know, we're going to kick your ass, we're going to fuck your mother.
Yeah, everything was screaming,
this one's
dude.
like, hey, I'm going to cut you. Trust me.
Yeah.
You know, it was calm.
Worlds.
Yeah, right. The leader of Worlds, which was their tag team, and hopefully they're broke up, and who knows what they're going to do with Bray now. I mean, that guy, I feel bad for him because he is a good worker. He had a great gimmick, and they fucked it up. And that's the thing with WWE is, here's another thing kind of competent into the news section. Paul Heyman, which is now one of the head writers of Monday Night Raw.
That's going to be huge.
It should be.
I'm hoping. What I'm hoping for is they say, Paul, here is a blank notebook.
Do what the fuck you want.
Here is a pen. Please make us better.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't think it.
I know, but I wish.
It's Stephanie McMahon and Paul Heyman famously do not like each other.
Yeah,
there's respect there, but they've worked with each other before, and there's just nothing but problems. So
yeah, he left SmackDown because of that.
Yeah, he always had a lot of problems with her, the $1 billion princess.
I mean, I'd still, I'd holler. But
one question though, the Bray Wyatt, what world is he actually eating?
He thinks he's Galactus. I think. For all you super comic Marvel nerds out there, he thinks he's Galactus. But
for Transformers, what was that? There was a
he was the planet. Remember, it was the living planet in Transformers, the living tribunal.
Yeah, he sucked in worlds and destroyed planets. And,
robots in disguise. Transformers! I got the 80s cartoon on DVD. Fuck you all. It's the greatest. Transformers, the real Transformers movie. You know what I'm talking about, Strat?
Yeah, I have it too.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah.
High five.
You got the Headmasters. That was a series that aired.
Well, she
Europe.
was here yet. Oh, that Headmaster. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about Trendmasters for a second. You know, you're a toy collector.
Beastmasters.
Beastmaster. So yeah, long story short on that, Extreme Rules, very bad pay-per-view. I am also excited to see Bobby Lashley win over Roman Reigns. I think he's also a guy that should have came in booked strong because he had strong momentum coming as a fucking former 4 or 5 time TNA champ, and he was booked as basically the chocolate Lesnar.
I don't think he lost. Yeah, I don't think he lost the MMA fight.
He's 15-2 in MMA,
okay.
And they're finally starting to acknowledge his MMA shit.
I always thought though Bobby Lashley always had that baby face. He looked like a big baby.
Yeah, he does. He is a big baby.
He doesn't. The guy's just jacked to the gills.
Yeah.
But are you looking?
He's a Gerber baby on the top.
But he's got that little baby face.
Yeah.
It's like.
Yeah.
You just like laugh at him, except he's got 23-inch arms and
yeah. But I think from the time he left WWE 10 years ago to where he's at now, and he went to New Japan and all this other shit in TNA and improved his skills, and he's a great worker, and I think his mic skills have gotten better too, but he's being booked into the he's got his dick in the dirt right now,
I mean, just with his first run, all I can remember is the thing with Trump, the hair versus hair match.
Trump, let's talk about Trump.
Trump
Let's get G.G. Stalin real quick.
I remember Trump was calling him Leslie.
Yeah.
My man Leslie's good.
It's very beautiful. He's very black.
He's huge. He's huge.
He's got
I love
huge
black
back.
people.
Yeah.
I love huge black men.
Chork Laser's my guy.
Chork Laser. But no, get back to it. If WWE were smart, you book Lashley Strong coming into the company and you fucking say, fuck UFC, because, and this is also breaking into more of our news section with Brock Lesnar coming back into the UFC. WWE needs to say, fuck the cross promotion. You guys can book and sanction your own MMA fucking match between two guys who are legit MMA stars, and that would be huge. Everybody wanted to see that forever. I mean, if you're a wrestling fan and you fucking tell me that you weren't thinking of Lesnar versus Lashley, you're a fucking idiot.
I would put my money on Lashley.
I would too.
The other thing too is they keep signing. Is Brock a draw?
He is, but the way that he's being booked and who knows if it's him being booked anymore, because now the lines are kind of misconstrued where is it bad booking or is it really just Bork Laser, the fucking asshole, saying, hey, whatever. From what I understand, he's already fulfilled his contract as far as dates for appearances, so that's why he's kind of holding out. He's going to hold out for money, he's going to use this shit, and that's what they're doing with the UFC, which leads into our next little segment here with Brock Lesnar, which we didn't get to last week, unfortunately, but we're going to tap into that ass now. So what was it? UFC 226?
So yeah, it was a UFC. Cormier won the belt,
right? And he beat Stipe, right? Stipe? How do you say his name? Miocic?
Stipe.
I'm kind of sad about it. I like Stipe.
I like him too.
Yeah.
I don't like Cormier.
No.
So he said something about wanting to fight Brock Lesnar, and then Brock Lesnar was in the audience, of course,
all smiling, coming up.
Yeah, he's smiling, coming up. He gets in the ring, and then he's pissed, and then he shoves him. But that
was a hard ass shove.
It was, but if you look at it, it was a hard shove because it came from Brock, but he pulled off a little bit, you know. And then Cormier came in afterwards and kind of gave like a little They're building this.
They're building it, and the companies are working together. And WWE is posting on their own YouTube channel UFC footage, and they're talking about that. They never would have done that back in the day, and I think a lot of that attests to the new owners of the UFC. They're saying, "Hey," and I know Dana White's a huge fan of Vince McMahon. He knows how to promote a fucking fight.
Yes, he
does. And they're finally starting
Who does?
to get
Vince
into
or
Vince.
Oh yeah,
Vince.
for sure.
I mean, I don't care if it's fucking real or fake. The guy can promote. And what did Vince Sr. What did Vince Sr. used to promote? Real boxing and wrestling back in the day, Madison Square Garden, selling out shit with Bruno Sammartino and all that shit.
So here's the thing: is Brock has fulfilled his contract for his dates and everything like that. Brock Lesnar, okay? This was UFC.
Bork Laser.
This was UFC.
Bork Laser.
Was UFC 100 when he fought Frank Mir the second time and beat the shit out of him.
That was a great fight.
Oh, it was a great. He did like he
was
beat
that the one after I don't want to drink a Bud Light because they give me any money.
Yeah, they don't give me any money. Yeah, I'm gonna go and drink a Coors.
My wife and drink a Coors Light.
I'm gonna go hop on my wife, and then he goes, "I'm not gonna drink a Bud because they don't pay me anything." I love it.
That's all right.
But it's one of those.
Hey,
things
we're drinking a Coors Banquet right now. You know,
he became. It's crazy because he became like a heel in UFC.
Yeah.
But like people liked him, you know.
He gave them that momentum, that the thing that UFC never had a good like promo guy.
Mm-hmm.
The shit that wrestling has. Where the ability to talk and to hype a fucking fight. This is why you have Conor McGregor's now. And even Daniel Cormier.
Ronda Rousey.
You need a born villain. You have to have somebody out there.
There's always a protagonist. And
that's the thing is, there's been great fights, but what's a great fight? One that people pay the most money to see.
Right. Which Brock, I think, still holds the record for buy rates.
Oh, for sure. UFC 100. Okay, this was I mean, this had to be at least 6-7 years ago, minimum. UFC 100
for sure.
Brock Lesnar made $5 million.
Yeah.
Do you know how many people were? I mean,
well, look at this person, the Mark Hunt fight. I think he got close to 2 million, and he was fucking pedding out.
Yeah, and this was the UFC. This was UFC 100, where like the top guys, like I'm talking about your champions, were making maybe a couple $100,000.
Right. But they have no name.
Maybe.
And that's terrible money when you like really compare like the abuse your body takes, the amount of training,
the
costs,
the camps,
the costs,
everything. Yes,
it's like you're making like $40,000 a year.
They're making dicks to the dollar
after all the taxes and all the costs.
But at the end of the day, they brought Brock.
Yeah.
Because why?
He's a fucking draw.
He sells and he puts people in the
asses
stands.
in seats.
Look at how many more advertisers they got.
Yep.
You know, even to this day,
dude. What is this? Websites,
Jimmy John's and Jack Links.
Yep.
To this day, he wears them in the ring. You know.
Yeah, I like beef jerky.
They pay him a lot of money, and UFC hyped him too. I remember when Brock first came to UFC, they were talking about how. They called his hands
lunch boxes.
Yeah, lunch boxes. Joe Rogan's like, those are like 2 lunch boxes coming at you, because they had to make special gloves for him because his hands.
He's a fucking freak of nature. He is. He's a big old. In his own words, he's like, I'm just some big old white country boy.
Yeah,
and he is. You know, but
here's the thing. Not to get too much into UFC, but when he fights Cormier, he's gonna beat the shit out of him.
What do you think? What do you think, Flying Ryan?
I put money on Brock on that one.
Yes.
I would too. You know, and here's the thing: a lot of people might talk shit or disagree. This is a healthy Brock. His first bout, his first round in UFC, Brock had the diverticulitis. The whole time he was unhealthy. He won the world title with the diverticulitis. Not even. I think
took
even
out
at
a lot
time,
of intestine and stuff. And I'm telling you that. I mean, that really causes people.
That can kill you.
Yeah.
That can fucking kill you. That's why Overeem beat the shit out of him.
He lost like what 75 pounds on that, and like not a fat 75, but
no,
pure
muscle. Yeah.
So I mean, it just devastated his body. I mean, he was close to death at one point, of my understanding.
Yeah, he was.
It was very serious.
Yeah, I'm telling you now, Brock will be in a UFC by the end of the year. If they don't, if they don't book it if they don't have it for a fight by December,
been announced. Dana already said it's going to happen.
Oh, it's going to happen. But the thing is, you just don't. Yeah, the date hasn't been set. I think it'll be before the end of the year. If not, they'll end up doing like a like a New Year.
They need a super card, like a big fucking thing. You know what would be awesome? Well, what is John Jones? He's basically considered heavyweight division, or no?
No, he's light heavy.
Okay, you bring him back on that same card.
Yeah,
you know, like
John
he might
Jones,
do a lot of cocaine.
He's arguably probably one of the greatest UFC fighters of all time.
You know what? I'm a big Spider fan.
Self-destructive, though.
He did. He's very self-destructive.
That's one of the worst things when you see somebody, a fighter of that talent,
right,
and that exciting, and just it wasn't like some opponent beat him. He beat himself by just bad choices or drug problems. I'm guessing it seems like it. There seems to be a lot of things there. What do you call it? Who's it? Is it Bellator or somebody that's got the 2 old guys fighting?
Probably Bellator. Bellator, definitely Bellator.
What is it?
Shout out to Scott Coker, owner of Bellator.
What was it? Frank Mir just fought. Oh my God, Fedor Emelianenko.
Didn't Mir?
Yeah,
he lost.
No, I think
Fedor lost, right?
No, Fedor beat him.
No, did he?
Fedor beat him up.
Yeah.
Well, there was another fight that Fedor lost in Bellator, I thought.
Oh yeah, against Dan Henderson.
Okay.
Which shout out to Dan Hendo.
Lashley was calling out. He wanted Fedor. He wanted those big fights. See, Lashley's not a fucking
Well, here's the thing, man. When Fedor was still in his prime,
he was.
There was talking about a super fight between him and Brock.
Here's the thing. I'll give you a little flashback. Antonio Inoki, who started New Japan Pro Wrestling, he also started a somewhat mixed martial arts promotion, and would have guys like Fedor come and kick the shit fucking Japanese wrestlers.
Ryan was talking about that. It's Tito Ortiz is fighting what's his name, Iceman again.
Chuck
No way.
Liddell.
What? Get out of here. Are you serious?
No.
Yeah.
This is the first. You guys are hearing it first.
I just can't remember his name right now.
Oh,
Chuck
Liddell.
Liddell.
No, I
Chuck
got.
He's not
I'm typing
fighting
right now.
And
He's not fighting.
he looks punch drunk already.
He's 50-something.
Yeah, that's
He's punch drunk. Tito Ortiz, half his spine is fused together. I don't even know if he could turn.
Do you
or move
remember
or
those
anything.
series of bouts he had with Ken Shamrock in Bellator?
A lot of those fights were. Oh, well, I don't know. No, I didn't see those.
It's you don't need to see them because it's like
it
what the
wasn't
fuck?
MMA, it was OLD.
Here's the thing, guys. If people are gonna bitch in pro wrestling, that like, and I'm gonna say this because someone actually commented on the JP Dub Facebook post I posted about Hogan coming back and the Juice Pro Wrestling Universe, which you can join on Facebook. JP Woo, wet him up. Somebody commented about Hogan coming back, and they're like, great. It was actually Juan Bier. So Juan, if you're out there listening, I'm calling you out, motherfucker. You said you didn't want to see Hogan versus The Undertaker at WrestleMania 45. Here's the thing. Nobody wants to see that. I love both of them. I don't want to see that.
Yeah.
I'm not, Hogan coming back doesn't have to be in a fucking wrestling capacity. He could be an ambassador. He could be the leader of a new NWO or manage some whoever. There's plenty of ideas they can do with them. If you really want to get down about old guys fighting, everybody move your stupid fucking opinions over to MMA where you got guys who, come on, the combat sports and you're that old, it's not going to work.
Well,
That's
Shamrock
like my dad
still,
trying to whoop
Shamrock
some other
was
dad's
still
ass.
fighting at like 53.
Yeah,
It's just
still with Tito in Bellator.
And it's like, why?
Yeah, no one wants to see that shit.
I mean, people were talking about Shamrock being past his prime, I don't know,
man,
like
10 years ago.
Probably about 15 years
Yeah,
ago.
yeah, you're probably right.
I remember Jim Ross saying something like,
did he say something like this? By God, he passes prime.
No, he said, hey, it's going to be so ugly.
He's going to
It's
say,
going to be tougher than $2 steak.
Chuck Liddell. Here's the crazy thing.
Fuck Liddell.
The first two fights, dude. I'll give Tito Ortiz was one of my favorite fighters for a long time.
Really?
Yeah.
Chico Ortiz.
I like Tito Ortiz. He was the Huntington Beach bad boy, man.
He was
I
also
loved
in TNA Impact. He was also a member of the Aces and Eights.
I liked Rampage. I liked Tito. All them guys.
Main Event
Chuck
Mafia
Liddell is 48 years old.
God damn.
Tito Ortiz. This is the crazy thing. Okay, this is going to put into perspective how long Tito has been fighting. Tito's only 43.
Really?
Tito!
He's only 43 years old.
So Tito, it seems like Tito's been around for 20 years.
He's had to have been fighting in his maybe teens, I would say, or it had to be early 20, maybe 21. He's had to have been fighting that long, But you got to think, he's the one who put MMA, he's one of the ones that put MMA on the map as well. Tito Ortiz was a big name, back then.
But to me, it's when you have guys like this, you don't want to see them, past their prime. Is there that will to fight? Do they need the money that bad? I mean, I would have, like, you see Chuck Liddell's doing commercials for batteries and different products. He's done some movies. He's done quite a few things.
They've earned it to do stuff like that. It's like, why don't you make your money that way? Because here's the thing is you don't want to see these legends like, so Chuck, when he retired because he lost the last 5 of his 6 fights. And he
didn't just prematurely retire. No, he looked like shit in the ring.
Yes, and it was bad because I like Chuck.
Octagon.
Yeah,
well,
I like Chuck a lot, and it was just like, man.
It was time.
Yeah.
Fighters' skills don't turn into fine wine. They turn into vinegar. They deteriorate with age. Your body breaks down. It happens with anybody, especially the amount of abuse that you take. And not even in the fights, practice.
The training, the training is the abuse,
I just, to me, it just doesn't, like.
Here's the thing, Flying Ryan. If you're going to get a couple of old guys in the UFC, we might as well break in a little JP Dub action, get some wrestling, have a fucking casket match, because one of those are going to be great. Chuck Liddell can promote Centrum Silver all he wants, One of those motherfuckers is moving to Florida, and they're going to retire.
It's like MMA that's sponsored by AARP.
Yeah.
It's like Centrum Silver, sponsoring the main event brought to you
I'm
by.
the Centrum Silver Fox. So, kind of moving away from that now. Brock's coming back. We're going to see the Brock versus Cormier fight. Whether or not Brock is still Universal Champion, which, God, I hope not. Kurt Angle last night on Extreme Rules was talking that Brock had a couple different options, and he was gonna strip pretty much. It might end up that they strip Lesnar of the title, which at this point in time they fucking should, because people were booing when they said that fucking Brock was gonna be
stripped or whatever. Yeah, stripped of the title.
When he was gonna strip butt naked, they were booing.
Wait, here's here's the whole thing with it they've done wrong with Brock. Okay, Brock's a legit badass. There's no question about that.
Right, I wouldn't talk shit to him to his face.
Who beats Brock for that title? Goldberg.
Bobby Lashley.
Goldberg did it with the.
I love that. I hated
Goldberg. It. I thought it was shit.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I never liked Goldberg.
Fuck you, Flying Ryan.
He was terrible. He was
Get the fuck out of here.
He was like poor man Steve Austin.
Oh my God, you're fucking making me small down there.
And half the chants were piped into the audience.
Oh my God.
I was there at the United Center. I heard it myself.
Hey, guys, we're gonna have to jump him after the show.
But you know what? You have old ass Goldberg, who's not in that company. He just was doing you know what
though? He came back. You could
have made an awesome star out of somebody beating Brock. Instead, you have
they tried with Roman Reigns.
Well,
and
yeah, Roman's
Roman sucks.
But they need to move away from that because Roman is the people.
As long as Vince is running it, they won't.
Well, if you see like the guys that became monster stars, let's just say Hogan, Savage, Flair, they weren't like this promotion thing. They're guys that became stars because they won over the audience.
Right. They're over. Yeah.
The Rock. The Rock was, but they didn't force him down people's throats. Stone Cold was about
Dwayne the Cock Johnson.
But Stone Cold,
I'm sure he was forced down a few throats.
Stone Cold was one of the most organic things ever.
Yeah,
because
sure.
That just shot to the Vince was like, "Wow, I got another rocket strapped to my ass."
Yeah, he's like, let's tap White Trash America and just go for it.
Let's find the working middle class man that hates his boss and
kick him in the nuts and give him a hell yeah stunner.
I say the best stunner was when Vince. Everybody had an idea that Vince owned the company, but Vince was still the only in the WWF. The hard sells on TV. The first time that's Stone Cold gave Vince the stunner was remember he was
super selling it and he's just like
and he just he woke up like
he was flopping like a dick out of water. I mean a fish.
I still think Linda McMahon sold it pretty good too. She
She sold it really good in the bedroom from what I heard too. Sources tell me.
That's why Vince was. I don't know what.
That's why he's making out with Trish Stratus. Remember when he had the vegetable Linda and he's making out with Trish in front of her? Like, come on. That's what it gets to a point. What the fuck are they doing, dude?
The creative team,
God.
dude.
Yeah, the creative team.
Russo.
No, that was Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I want to make out with this hot chick. How can I fucking write it in the storyline so I don't get fucking half my company taken away?
And Linda would be the one to be able to pull that off too, because she's a brilliant lawyer.
Linda's a lawyer. Yeah.
She's like the
she's on Trump's
board.
Yeah, she's head of the Small Business Association.
Yeah. Shout out to Linda McMahon. Hey, girl, you's got it.
Well, you got to think though. It wasn't Vince had to buy that. He bought shitty parts of that company from his dad, and then everything was mortgaged and leveraged at the gills. His dad didn't give him that company.
No, his dad didn't want him involved.
His dad didn't think it was good.
No, he thought he was shit.
Yeah, he thought he was, just a terrible businessman, a terrible promoter.
Did Vince and Vince Sr. have like a strained relationship?
No.
He didn't really grow up. Vince Sr. and Jr. didn't grow up together, really. Vince, his parents were divorced. They lived apart. I think Vince mostly grew up in North
I've never
Carolina.
heard anything about Vince's mom ever.
Yeah, his he had a
mother. Sorry, you're wearing the flying Ryan's wearing that Danzig tee. I got to mark out.
Always, man. Nothing wrong with a little GD in the
That's
anywhere.
Wrong. GD Nation.
But yeah, Vince's stepdad was, I guess, a wife beater and abusive.
Really?
Man. Vince hated him the most of anybody.
Really? See, I never knew.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of interviews with Vince. he really loved his mom. But he grew up in boarding school. They put him off to boarding school with Johnny Valiant.
Johnny Valiant? Really?
Yeah, they knew each other from boarding school. I actually spent time with Johnny Valiant. Great guy.
Really?
Yeah. That's a whole nother story.
Yeah. We're gonna get into some of these stories. Actually, that's a good segue. Let's segue into Flying Ryan. I know you spent a lot of time with quite a few, an eclectic amount of different types of wrestlers. Just, give us a little skeet on who you've spent some time with.
Okay, I've spent time drinking with Jim Cornette.
Really? No, I'm going to stop you right there because you say Jim Cornette, and he is, I mean, come on. We all know Jim Cornette. He's got a mouth on him.
Oh, yeah.
What was that
my
like?
God.
He don't give a fuck.
He give two shits. He's got some of the best stories. And the funny thing is, Jim Cornette is like this really straight-laced kind of looking guy.
With a tennis racket.
Kind of nerdy. But he's married to... and she's really cool. Her name's Stacy. She managed an OVW under the name Sin. But she's like this very heavy set goth girl that's into Danzig and Typo Negative and all this more darker bands that Jim Cornette would probably never listen to. You couldn't picture it. But yeah, I actually was down at this Indianapolis fan convention doing video for him. And the guy probably lost 30, 40K on it. Easy.
Hey, anybody does. Ask Chris Montez. If you're booking a show, you're going to lose a lot of money. Sorry, Fausto.
I was the video guy, and I had 2 hotel rooms for 2 days, and plus whatever, what I got paid for it. Mm-hmm. I was in the back, and I saw there was a list of names of what people were getting paid. Virgil got $750.
Get the fuck out of here!
I fucking swear.
Are you sure he just didn't show up on his own? In the parking lot
he wasn't. No, he wasn't booked. He was not booked for
he
it.
Never is.
He showed up and he got $750.
He making that fuck money.
Oh yeah. I saw.
I love Garden.
I saw that Mick Foley made $1,500.
Oh yeah.
Virgil, I wouldn't pay him $7.50 in TGIF coupons.
Hey, I did have a good 2.5 hour conversation with Virgil. It was good, but the whole time he was trying to work us up to take pictures.
He was always at the comic conventions and there'd be nobody by his table. He
would always have Ted DiBiase's banner behind him so people
it was spelled wrong though.
Yeah.
He had one it was spelled wrong, And at the time too, this was funny because it's a WWE legend. And big capital bold. Yeah. Times New Roman font. He never wrestled there when he was in WWE, and he was never a legend. I mean, it was the best thing I remember about Virgil is when Hogan suplexed him, on the concrete of WrestleMania 4.
There you go.
That was one of the greatest things I ever saw in that.
You know what? I did like Virgil though as the manservant of Ted DiBiase. Nowadays, he wouldn't be able to get away with that shit.
You could. It's just, anything that you
was
could
great.
do, back in the old days for Heat, you cannot do now.
No,
everything
is
so corporate sponsored.
Yeah,
everybody's become totally pussified. Oh, so sensitive. Oh, yeah. I'm offended.
So sorry.
I'm offended. Oh, please don't offend me. Don't make me sad. I gotta find my safe space.
Yeah, right.
But no, I mean it's ridiculous, and I don't know how you could even get heat for anybody because you can't do half the stuff you used to do.
Right? You more or less
even
gotta be
even not that long ago. Remember the JBL and Eddie Guerrero?
Oh yeah,
and some of the stuff they pulled with.
Speaking back in the day, do you remember the NWO pay-per-view? The sold out when Eddie Guerrero came out, right? And they had his music playing, and then it was the NWO voice. Remember, it was the greatest wrestler, and you know how they do the overdub during the NWO shit. When Eddie Guerrero came out, it's the Mexican jumping bean, Eddie Guerrero. Come on, dude. What the fuck?
They couldn't get away with that now.
No. One of the things I remember on when it was Vader versus Ron Simmons.
When you won the title?
Harley Race said, I had a boy to Ron Simmons, said to Ron Simmons in an interview. And then, I had a boy like you to carry my bags.
Wait, you just said Ron Simmons said to Ron Simmons.
Oh, Harley Race said to Ron Simmons. Sorry. I had a boy like you to carry my bags. And of course, it's set up there. Ron Simmons punched him and, redeemed
got
himself.
The heat. Yeah,
got the heat. And, they had some interest into that match. And But yeah, you couldn't do any of that.
And you know what? I remember as a kid when Ron Simmons did win that WCW World Title, I was fucking all for it.
I thought it was awesome just because it was like such a shock and surprise.
Right.
You know?
And not even because of a race thing. It was just, I genuinely liked Ron Simmons.
I did too.
Doom with Butch Reed, remember? And Teddy Long was the manager. They were the Black Road Warriors.
I saw them wrestle the Road Warriors at the Hammond Civic Center in like 90. One of them, I'm not sure if it was Butch or Ron, picked up one of those big, those like street clothes, the heavy ones, the wood.
Yeah.
Picked it up and threw it in the ground and it shattered. I don't, but you never saw anybody as big as Road Warriors until Doom was there. It was like carbon copies.
Right, yeah.
That was awesome.
Road Warriors, dude, were, in my opinion, I know Big Ed kind of disagrees with this because he's a Dudley Boys guy, but I'm sorry. There was the originators of everybody winning every tag team title that ever existed, and they were more intimidating, and that was the motherfucking Road Warriors, dude.
Just to see the Road Warriors come out and not, because this was under the NWA banner.
Oh, great.
To hear them come out to
Black
Iron
Sabbath,
Man.
yeah, dude. Fucking destroying shit.
And in an old school arena like the Hammond Civic Center, it was smoky. I think you could smoke it in that place.
Like the old like Nitro. It was always smoky when you watch Nitro. Remember that stretch?
It was shitty cameras.
There was no like HD. It was always like smoky. We were watching last night on the network, some old NWO shit. It's like, man, why is it so smoky? I wanted to eat some Slim Jims.
That was terrible. Well, it was just it's another thing, technology compared to now.
But you know what? It was terrible, but they were great for us that lived.
They're the greatest.
Yeah, it was great
because we didn't know any better. It was amazing. You got to think. Look how much better Nitro was than, say, Saturday Night Main Event 8 years prior.
I think even the worst Nitro now is probably better than Raw's now. Sadly, and that's pretty fucking sad.
Yeah, that's kind of true.
But there's no one big enough. Like, there's no one, I don't want to say big enough. There's no one straight head-to-head like WWE and WCW were back then, because back then, they were straight. Each company was like, we're going to take this motherfucker out.
They were like, sweep the leg.
Yeah, they were chop blocking every
Show no mercy.
They were.
Giving away Eric Bischoff, giving away fucking, pre-taped results.
But that totally backfired. That was the funniest thing, though. It's like, I got a secret. I got to tell this secret.
I got a secret.
Then everything was live, Then everything moved to live.
But you know what? WCW started that. They started live. They also did the 3 hours.
Which is way too long for a weekly show.
It is.
Yes, it is.
And Kevin Nash, as much as anybody hates him, even came out and said, he's like, because he was a writer back in the day during that. He's like, dude, we had like 3 hours of Raw to write, and then we had Thunder, which was an hour or two. I think
2 hours.
2 hours.
Yeah.
He's like, so we had 5 hours of fucking TV every week we had to write.
Then plus all the, not that they really have to, but they had Worldwide and, the syndicated show, the main event.
Yeah.
They changed the names after, a while. And
that's a lot of material. That's a lot of material.
Much. Have the spinning ring at Disney World.
I did love that shit. Dude. Saturday night, dude. That's the old school WCW.
What was the
Saturday night.
One where they had the cage on top of the cage on top of the cage?
Oh, that was with Jeff Jarrett. Remember that was when that
was that the Tower
Dave
of Doom,
Arquette, right?
Yeah.
What the hell was that? That was that stupid movie.
I think that's No
Right
Holds Barred.
Yeah. There was was that the Tower of Doom or
Mike Awesome was in it. Jeff Jarrett. Yep. Who else? DDP. Yeah, the Tower of Doom. I think it was. It was the triple cage.
You know what though? I didn't care. I remember watching ECW coming in like public radio, and like it was all grainy and like you're like I could kind of see it.
It was the best.
It was the best wrestling available.
ECW in the 90s was like alternative punk, dude. Like they came and they were like Nirvana, and they kicked fucking all the old school bullshit's ass, and they were like, "This is the new fucking
they were on
shit."
That little, shitty channel 62 that has like religious programming.
They had Mad Cow TV on it too.
But it was just like on Friday nights at like 10 or 11.
And
it came in, and it was like after seeing the WWF and WCW, these guys were raw. They were just they're in a little bingo hall. Nothing is overproduced,
and the wrestling was great.
It was just great. Yes. Yeah, it was like, holy shit! I've never seen that before. What?
They invented a lot of moves.
When has anybody ever sat there?
For sure.
Have you ever heard an audience chant WWE? WWE,
never,
or even WWF,
WCW, never. WCW, no, it's always EC Dub,
EC Dub.
EC Dub.
Or
Yes.
TNA.
But yeah, I actually been out to the ECW arena in Philly.
Oh, you motherfucker.
that's
It
awesome.
was
It was for,
it 2300 Arena?
Yeah, but it was the company that was running it was 3PW, which was owned by Jasmine St. Clair and Blue Meanie. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And the crowd was I think I want to say I saw Low Key against
Nice.
Sabu. This was
Nice.
2000. I want to say 3.
Mhm.
Get it wrong. And then it was a matinee.
Okay.
There was a matinee card, and then the night card was Ring of Honor with New Japan. I mean, All Japan with Muda and
yeah.
Satoshi Kojima.
Yeah.
And, what's a guy named Samoa Joe was there. Some other guy named Punk and
CM Punk was there?
yeah, Punk was
That's
there.
awesome.
Yeah,
That's a
that
big
was
Punk
phenomenal. That was a and the that was at the Armory of Philadelphia,
Mm-hmm.
and they had like 2 liters of pop to get popped. They weren't selling like beer. It was like the concession stand was like funny. It was like, hey, we need more pop. Go down to the gas station. Get a
some
3 liter
ecstasy.
this time.
Bring some weed.
And that was that was crazy to see. But the ECW arena crowd was rowdy, raunchy, and drunk, and it was. I think
That's
that
what I
card
love.
started at noon.
I don't know about you guys, but that's it. Me going to a pro wrestling show. I'm blind.
Yeah,
That's
you wear
what
your
I
glasses
fucking
to the
love.
pro wrestling show.
Yeah, right. No, that's what I love. For me as a pro, even when I was a little kid, though, I mean, I'll go as far back. Like, I was at WrestleMania 8, and so I wasn't so subjected to the more party atmospheric college style of like ECW. That made us as fans. But once I got into that, it was on, dude. Like when I was at Bound for Glory in 2008, me and Johnny B, John Horn, dude, we were fucking like right next to the ring, and we were fucking drunk. We were, a little RVD 420. I was yelling some stupid ass shit, but it was a great fucking time, dude. And to me, that's what wrestling's all about. And that's what, like, back in the day, ECW, that's like, if you're just some rock and roll dude, you're a fucking wrestling fan, you just want to let all your bullshit out, you could do that with that product.
And the fans too would travel. They would do like ECW would promote mostly the Northeast, and then they go down to Florida for like 5 shows, and they had like packages you can get like all 4 shows for, like you get like a show free. They're fans because they would travel around. It would be like spring break, like almost like following a band around for a few days.
Yeah.
They had that kind of that atmosphere, that
rock
energy.
star atmosphere.
It wasn't this corporate thing. It was more of a movement.
It was.
Yes,
and
it was.
ECW was.
But they were
dude.
the only thing that I didn't like about them. The only thing I didn't like about it is, man, they stuck to that East Coast. Like every once in a blue moon. I remember the last pay-per-view. I think it was Anarchy Rules. It was one of their last ones. I don't think it was their last one, but towards the end there.
Mm-hmm.
They were at the Odeum in Illinois. I think it was
that sold out. That
Yeah.
showed so. I was thinking like, hey, my buddy
Ryan was there.
I didn't make
I
it
didn't
there.
go.
I
I
wanted
know.
to go
But
so
me and a buddy
bad.
were gonna go.
But they sold out minutes.
Yeah,
minutes.
I had no idea. We were going like, yeah, we'll just get tickets the
I
day
hadn't
off.
seen him in Gary. Were you at that show?
No, but I saw him. I saw him the night before or the night after at the Aragon Ballroom.
Oh, they were
That
at
would
the
have been
Aragon?
great.
Oh,
Holy fuck.
that night
dude.
was absolutely insane because I've been to the Aragon Ballroom.
to us. Preach.
The brawl room.
Yeah, Aragon Ballroom. I love it.
New Jack dived off the side
Oh,
of the Aragon.
yeah.
If you ever
Like
been to the
he
Aragon,
always do.
it's high.
Yeah, it is.
It's not like a little like
No.
I mean, it's like wow, the
Yeah.
floor is like way the hell down there. There were probably 5 or 6 full on fights in the audience.
Yeah.
Not with the wrestlers falling. I mean,
Dub, EC Dub.
there was I've never it was fucking awesome. I got in a verbal altercation with this security guy, and he wanted to fight me afterward. I was drunk off my ass, and I think I just like, man, I better go before I get arrested.
I'm telling you that was and the thing I liked about ECW is like how you said New Jack. That stuff wasn't filmed. I mean, it
No.
might have been filmed, but it might just for like the ECW records
Right.
and stuff like that. New Jack would jump off a balcony. It
Stab
doesn't matter if it
motherfuckers
was
with forks and shanks.
it didn't matter if it was a pay-per-view or not, dude. Like that was the best part
He
about
went
it.
hard in the paint every time, dude.
Yep. that was best wrestling, man.
Well, and the nice thing about ECW, you had these crazy brawlers that would do stuff like New Jack. You have the Dudleys, who were more of a brawling team, but
then you have pure wrestling, like
you'd have, like,
Malenko and
Van
Guerrero,
Dam.
Benoit,
Storm.
Van Dam.
yeah, I mean
Storm,
Jerry
yeah.
Lynn.
Jerry Lynn.
I mean,
fuck
look at
big
here's
death
how,
metal fan too.
Here's
Jerry
how good
Lynn.
Paul Heyman is a
Shane
promoter.
Douglas.
You look at where, like, Jerry Lynn had a lot of success before, not really. He wasn't much of a name.
No, he wasn't.
And what did he do? He threw him in with his top guy.
He was a former ROH world champion too. Like after ECW folded, he went into ROH, became a former ROH champion.
I mean, look, he was one of the cornerstones with TNA.
Yep, in the X division, dude.
Yeah, with AJ Styles.
Dude, AJ Styles. Amazing Red. You had Samoa Joe back then. Christopher Daniels.
Fallen Angel. Yeah, I mean that was
had killer shit.
That first
Sabu.
That like the first couple months of TNA, they were terrible with some of the gimmicks and stuff they were doing. But once they actually got down, they were really pulling in some new people. That's what people want to see is new faces that they don't know.
Yep.
And it seems like there's a when the wrestling company they pull them up.
Dude, that TNA time when they first started and got really firing on all cylinders was great because it was like they took the best of WCW and ECW and fucking made it their own.
But then they did some really dumb stuff. They did this tournament called the Hard 10 where you get a point for hitting somebody with a cookie pan, you get 1 point.
Yeah.
A chair, it was like 2.
Yeah, but they also had the King of the Mountain match. And then the Ravens Rules match, like that shit.
That Raven
Ultimate X.
Ultimate X was really awesome, especially like when they had America's Most Wanted against Triple X.
Oh, dude, that was
phenomenal.
Fucking amazing.
Elix Skipper was like such an underrated guy.
Yeah, Elix
was
prime
awesome.
Time. He was also in WCW at the ass end.
Yeah, there were a lot of people that they were the ass in the WCW.
AJ Styles.
Yeah. Yep.
Daniels was there.
Christopher Daniels was there. Yeah, Windy City Wrestling.
Yep. Hey, that's where Punk came out of, right? Was Windy City Wrestling?
Yep. And actually, shout out to Cassie DeCero, Brad Vanderzee, my drummer from Handsome Prick, his old lady, her uncle, Ed DeCero.
Sam DeCero.
Sam,
Yep.
you know him. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, he got his start with Dick the Bruiser.
Yeah, that's my drummer's girlfriend's uncle. I've tried to get him on here.
Him and another guy that's from the area, Jim Richmond.
Started Windy City
Eli
Pro.
the Eliminator in Texas and stuff. But they were the in Dick the Bruisers. They were a knockoff of the Road Warriors called like the World Warriors or something like that. Managed by Dick the Bruiser's son-in-law Scott Romer.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's crazy. It's crazy.
Dick the
all
Bruiser.
comes back to the region.
I know.
Well, the Funks are born in here.
He was from Hammond.
Yeah.
And they moved down to Texas.
I met Terry Funk at NWWA when he had his retirement.
It was Rex Hart. I was there.
Rex Hart.
Rex Hart.
Yeah. Rex Hart. Yeah.
The Smooth World Order.
Chucky Smooth.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Whatever happened? Yeah, that guy was really good. He just
who was the one champ that they had? His name was Rod.
Lightning Rod or Rod Bollinger.
Yeah. He was a big dude. He had like that marine
he kind of looked like a Brock Lesnar.
He did,
with less of a neck.
Yes,
he was like a fast food manager by day.
What? Was he really?
By day he was a brutalizer.
Yeah, they used to have him in the. There was a story about him in the newspaper. Like by day, he's a humble Burger King manager. At night, he's kicking ass.
But you want to know what's crazy though? For a Burger King manager, that dude was jacked. Wasn't he?
Yeah, he was jacked.
Well, he wasn't eating all the food. Maybe he was just eating the lettuce, and a couple of fucking
maybe
chicken
it was a
fingers.
Special, whatever they put on the Whopper, the special sauce.
Chano, remember Chano?
Yeah, Chano. I'll tell you what I put on the Whopper when I worked there as a special sauce, but that's another story.
I actually shot the video footage of that show.
Did you really?
Yeah, and Rex didn't know it existed because they had a company that was contracted to do it, and we did it because I had a cable access show.
Yeah.
We were going to use some of that, and
Like Wayne's World.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
the angle was with Rex Hart. The angle was that he was one of the relatives of like
Bret Hart. He was
Yeah.
he was the illegitimate son of Stu
Hart.
Hart. Yeah.
Which he already had 10
And,
sons.
You know what? It was. I everybody loved Owen Hart, but this is right after. This was probably. Oh, I'm guessing maybe a couple weeks after Owen Hart died, and he was wearing the Owen Hart like memorial shirt.
Man.
And it was kind of like is he making fun of it or is he really, you know, it was so weird. It was weird.
Taboo, you know.
It was it was kind of strange, but I think he really, you know,
it was probably a tribute. I would have to say it
just was like my illegitimate my half brother died. You know, I mean, it was like weird.
R.I.P. Owen, you were the best.
Owen was really the
he was. He really was. I think he was better than Brett. I think he would have if he had more time.
I'll tell you what. That match at SummerSlam, one of the first events, that was like the only redeeming thing on that shitty ass SummerSlam. That was the first event they had at the United Center. That was Undertaker against Underfaker.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Someone just posted that was Twitter the only on their Instagram story today. I seen that. So where do you bring that up? It was Undertaker versus Undertaker, and that was Brian Lee,
primetime Brian Lee,
yeah, from EC Dub.
They were going to go longer with that feud. Thank God they did it because it was just the stupidest thing. But that was the only shining moment. That match was that cage match with those guys was awesome because they did stuff that. You know, everybody at that point was just throw him against in the cage, throw him against the other side of the cage. Yeah. But they were doing all kinds of stuff that nobody else was doing.
Flesh against steel. That's what we.
But yeah, that was that. Owen, like right at the beginning, tried to escape the cage like super quick, and Brett got him. I mean, they were just. I saw them wrestle at VU.
Psychology, man.
And I swear to God, Bret Hart had the sharpshooter on Owen for like 2 hours.
Right.
It was pretty funny. It was a matinee show at VU, and it was Owen against Bret. It wasn't even the main event. Yeah. And
it's pretty sad that Valparaiso. Hey, if anybody out here listening has any connection, it's pretty fucking sad you guys don't do wrestling shows anymore in Valparaiso. You know, I
saw some really great ones.
Don't you know about the
draw?
I
saw some horrible ones.
Yeah,
but they always drew stinkers. There. The worst thing was a TV taping because it was like superstars for like the next month and a half. So it was like, I'll fight you next week. Okay. And it was star for star. You know it's going to be some shitty schmooze count out or DQ.
Yeah.
Nobody is going to be pinned. And it went on for like 6 hours.
No.
I left at midnight.
Really? At a fucking Indian
It was a school night, too. I was in high school. And I'm like, man, buddy, you're like, dude, fuck this. We saw there was the first time Goldust was there, or his debut, but it was his debut taping.
Goldust.
But yeah, Waylon Mercy against Diesel was a smooth job. I think the main event was Diesel against Mabel. I'm like, fuck this, let's go
King
home.
Mabel. R.I.P. Big Daddy V.
They had like a couple of like exclusive Valparaiso University matches.
Oh yeah,
and then it was like Kama
Mustafa, the Godfather, aka the Good Father.
He was Kama the ultimate. He was Kama the ultimate fighting machine. Where he had that weird like.
Yeah, the MMA kind of.
He had like the lesbian gym coach red outfit. Wearing,
he had the wrestling singlet over a white T-shirt.
Yeah, like I said, he looked like a lesbian.
It's like I don't want to show my boobs. They might recognize my Papa Shango tattoos.
Especially at the time, nobody was tattooed up like that.
No, except for Dennis Rodman. Much respect to the Worm, Rodzilla. NWO for life.
And they had a pay-per-view in Australia where he wrestled Kurt Hennig for the.
Who, Rodman?
Yeah.
He wrestled Kurt Hennig? What?
And there was a pay-per-view that was exclusive to Australia.
Really?
It came out at like the years later, the video came out at the dollar store. I'm like, I gotta get this. Yeah.
You have this tape?
I don't have it anymore. I probably got rid of it. It was pretty horrible, but.
Yeah, but Rodman wrestled Mr. Perfect.
Yeah.
And they were both NWO?
This was after WCW folded.
Okay, so it was like probably like XPW or some weird shit.
It was like IGF or something, Superstars or Future Stars of Wrestling, but it was Australia.
Future Stars of Wrestling, and these guys are 40.
Yeah, I know.
They weren't tapping Christopher Daniels.
I think they, I want to say like Public Enemy wrestled the Road Warriors.
They're both dead. Ed hates Public Enemy.
was never a fan.
You know what? They always did the hip hop parade.
I'm calling it right now. But in my opinion,
worst tag team. Everybody always praises them in ECW.
I didn't think they were very good.
I think they're just. I think them and the Nasty Boys are two of the worst tag teams in history.
I like the Nasties a lot better than I like Public Enemy.
I would say I would take Nasties over Public Enemy.
You know what? Nasties were good when they were, the stuff with them and the Steiners over the U.S. titles.
Yeah,
was awesome.
yeah.
Because nobody could nobody ever threw the Nasty Boys around like the Steiners. The Steiners and those guys were like killing each other.
Dude, me and my brother. Yeah, who got the best body?
I'll punch you in right in the face.
Rick was awkward.
Sting. Remember we were watching last night? Say, Sting, I know you're up there in the rafters somewhere. Me and my brother. Largest houses in the world.
Yeah,
they always get like distracted by their own promos and like like they were so big and dumb, but no one cared. You know
what though? And this is my opinion.
Your dad looked like Rick Steiner.
He did look like Rick. He looked like Rick Steiner, and he looked like Rick Rude. Yeah. The Dudley Boys for me. The Dudley Boys are the greatest. Are the greatest tag team.
They're probably going to go down as the greatest because, and like I said earlier, the Road Warriors for me were the best simply because of intimidation and awe factor and just like badassery.
Just
like
no one can match.
The presence. And there's a thing. We were talking about this, I think, last night. It's called the Road Warrior Pop.
Yes.
Any of you guys listening tonight, go and watch on YouTube whenever the Road Warriors came out. I don't give a fuck if it was in the early AWA, NWA shit or early WWF, WCW,
whatever.
When the Road Warriors came out, they called it the Road Warrior Pop for a reason because motherfuckers lit.
They lost their shit, dude.
That shit, dude, the crowd got so loud.
Dude, the guys yelled and the women throw the panties on the stage.
That's right. Duff the roads. I think, in my opinion, they're the best ever. But to agree with what you're saying, unfortunately for them, their time came to a close due to certain things we won't get into with Hawk.
He fell off the stage.
Well, he was pushed by Darren Drosdorf, who's a cripple now. Thanks, D'Lo. D'Lo Brown gonna throw a motherfucker down.
He's gonna puke.
He's gonna fall. He's gonna break his spine. It did happen. Sorry for everybody involved. But the Dudley Boys will, because here's the thing. Dudley Boys been in Japan. I think both New Japan and All Japan won titles, which Road Warriors have done. They've been in TNA. They've been in ECW. They've fucking been to many numerous. We can't even name all the independent promotion tag titles that they've won. WWE. They've won all the huge major titles.
They won the WCW tag team when that merger happened. Wasn't that awful?
I don't like that because they also consider Kane and Undertaker as WCW tag champs at one point. It's at that point.
Was such
it's like
a mess. They dropped that.
Well, when you were talking Ed, about the invasion earlier, and one day we will do an episode about that because that was a very flawed fucking idea, and it could have been done a lot better. But anyways, getting back to what we're talking about, Ryan, you got any more? You got a juicy fucking shoot story of anybody you've ever met?
Story.
Yeah, I want the juice. Wants the fucking dirt. What about you, Sret? You want the dirt? You want the dirt?
I like dirt.
Yeah, give me some dirt on some motherfuckers.
The one is a really great Virgil story. Again, goes at I met Bobby Heenan at the Wizards World. During the morning, there was this long ass line of waiting to meet Bobby Heenan, and I'm walking by, and I'm like, I'm not sitting in that. My buddy's booth is right across from the Brain. I'll wait till it dies down. I'm like, is this the line for Virgil? And people just started cracking up. No, he wishes. But anyway, I was doing some filming over there, and there was the future star, the Stan Lees turning normal people into like comic book heroes.
Oh yeah,
and there was this one lady, she's like a 350-pound black woman with donuts hanging.
Jeffrey, I hate you, Jeffrey.
But she was
my razor.
I was taping her, and she was right next to Virgil, and their booths were butted against each other. And she had
boobs,
booth. Anyway, Virgil's like, "Hey man, you got to get out of the way. You're blocking my booth. You're blocking my booth, man. I'm sorry. Here, I'm like right on the the borderline between the two. I moved over. He's like, no man, you got to go over. You're blocking my booth. I turned and looked at him. I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm keeping all the throngs of people wanting your autograph from getting it. And he just shut up. He just is like, nobody is by you. Nobody wants your autograph. He didn't say another thing. He just like kind of put his head down, and I fucking hated that guy. Fuck Virgil and his fuck money. Fuck you, Virgil.
Flying Ryan Beal getting fucking shooting from the hip on the JP Dub.
That guy was lucky to get the spot that he was, and he's an asshole.
Virgil coasted on everybody else's coattails.
There's another thing, Ryan. I understand you're into a little bit of the vintage video gaming.
Yeah, and you guys are doing the big tournament.
That's right. Actually,
little
this
No
Sunday,
Mercy in 64.
Sretton, what's the time frame on that?
This Sunday at 5 p.m.
Sunday.
I understand there's $500,000 in cash going to the winner. Is that true?
The prize is a surprise. It's like a mystery box. It could be worth $500,000. It could be worth 20.
Yeah,
it's a gourd. But the winner
win.
receives a gourd buster on the streets.
Well, and the losers are going to get a low blow on the way out.
Get the fuck out of here, losers.
But the thing is,
Fuck out!
on the JP Dub podcast, if you win or you lose,
you're all winners.
The prize is always the same.
Yeah. Side of me, side of you, I'm inside of you.
So that's July 22nd at the Green Door.
At the Green Door Bookstore, 220 Main Street. What is it? North? Is there?
It's just Main.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
It's the one street in Hobart that's not torn up at this moment.
Right.
Yeah.
Kathy Kelly, shut the fuck up. All right. Going back to what we were saying, 220 Main Street at the Green Door Books. You can come and sign up. Actually, there's flyers out at Hot Topic, all GameStop locations in Maryville, Video Palace in Hobart, Indiana. Be sure to check them out for all your retro video game, DVD, comics, whatever your nerdly desires are. Check those guys out and fucking hit us up. It's a 16-man double elimination tournament. It's only $5 to get in, and
it's going to be a great time, though.
Tournament starts at 5. At 2 o'clock, we're going to fire up some old videos.
Yeah, we're going to have old wrestling. We're going to have old theme songs.
For about 3 hours.
We're going to be kicking it. We're going to be partying. It's going to be live action, like the Turtle Man would say.
We're also going to have a green screen set up so you could film promos.
Yeah, if you guys want to.
Later, we'll throw that shit on Facebook.
Yeah, for sure. You guys want to come out, and I'll put it to you this. I'm going to throw this out here and right fucking now. The winner of this tournament that's going to win the ultimate prize is also going to receive a spot whenever he or she desires a guest spot on the JP Dub podcast to come and talk about whatever the fuck you want, as long as it pertains to pro wrestling. If not, sorry about your damn luck. But we want to see a lot of people come out. There'll be refreshments. There'll be a lot of cold juice wisers. For those that are of age, there will be Sren's like, no.
All right, hide them in your car in a cooler.
Yeah. You could do something like that. But that's the great thing. We're in downtown Hobart. We're right next to Three Monkeys Pub. You guys can go get refreshed there and get some good food there. We'll have some treats and whatnot. Probably have a bunch of Slim Jims. Because we got to keep it fucking
Slim Jim. Dig it? Yeah.
Remember Ultimate Warrior also did the Slim Jim commercials?
Yeah, but it wasn't the same.
All right, I'm going to do a little, here we go. For all you guys, we didn't do a game this week, but Juice is going to lay it on all 4 of you. So here we go. Between Stratton, Big Ed the Assassin, and Flying Ryan Beal, who were the 3 pro wrestlers that did Slim Jim commercials?
Macho
Man.
Warrior.
Hold up. Are we going to go? Ryan?
Warrior. And...
Shit, I'm sorry, you were wrong.
Dino Bravo.
No, Dino Bravo is not a right answer, nor is shit. Big Ed the Assassin. No, get the fuck off the computer.
I am going to say it's Macho Man. It's Warrior. I'm going to say Hogan, but it's not.
You're wrong. Stratton.
Macho Man.
Once again, you're wrong, and this is why this is Juice Pro Wrestling Podcast.
Undertaker.
Because it was Macho Man Randy Savage. It was also the Ultimate Warrior. And, unfortunately, it was Edge. So, yeah, go ahead.
Google that at all.
Yeah, nobody does, but Google it, YouTube it. It
I'm
exists.
from Canada. Snapping those Slims. Hey.
Would you like some meat,
Hey.
Eh?
Protein? This came from a moose, eh?
So we're gonna have plenty of Slim Jims. That way, people load up on Slim Jims.
We're gonna
And
have
when,
Slim Jims.
when it's 2 hours into the tournament, everybody gets excited.
Right.
The whole place is gonna smell like Slim Jim burps.
Right. It's gonna be a good time. Yeah.
It'll be a really good time.
I appreciate everybody coming out. Like I said, 16-man double elimination tourney. Jack Turney. Remember, play on words, Jack Tunney.
The president.
There you go.
He's
Flying.
I always post pictures of
Jack Tunney?
President's Day. Yeah.
That's good. I like that.
Even if you don't get in the tournament or you do not want to play,
Come
there's a lot of people
watch.
that contacted and said, "Well, I don't know that game, so I feel weird coming." Just come hang out.
Yeah.
Come talk wrestling. Come talk video games. Come talk.
Because
come help us plan the next one.
Yeah, we're gonna do a lot more with this. Obviously this correlates with the Juice Pro Wrestling podcast, and there are a lot of you guys out there who I've talked to on the streets, and you know who you are, that said, "Hey, I'm down." So don't fucking pussy out. Get your asses down there. Put in your $5. Show your balls. Let's see who you got. You gonna take on the Juice? You think you're gonna beat me in this shit? We'll see about that. Do you have what it takes to win the ultimate prize? You're gonna have to fucking find out by showing up. Come sign up at the Green Door Bookstore. Do it right now, or forever hold your peace, or may you rest in pieces. Anyways. You like that? Do you like that? That was a good one.
You trailed off a little there.
Did I trail off?
You gotta come to the store. You gotta watch it, and then
I didn't say it like that. No, come to the store. Hey, listen.
You gotta bring some money to the store. You gotta park the car in a parking spot.
Yeah.
We're gonna go in there. We're gonna destroy.
What is that, like the Road Warrior Queen?
You gotta look both ways before you cross the street.
Do you want to do the hype with a little reverb?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. I think it's on. Is it?
Sunday, Juice Pro Wrestling proudly presents the N64 WWF Now Massive Pro Wrestling Tournament. Sponsored by the Green Door Network. Located at 220 Main Street in downtown Hobart, Indiana.
It's a $5 buy-in, 16-man elimination or woman elimination pro wrestling video game tournament. There will be prizes. There will be food. There will be flatulence. There will be
fun! So get your asses down there and sign up right now. And if you don't, I'll find out where you live. And I will trample you like a raging elephant in the desert, in the midnight, and I will come for you.
Yeah. So, let him have it.
Keep it going. Keep it going.
I'm like an orca in heat. Yeah. So anyways, get the fucking echo off of mine. Yeah. Everybody needs to show up. We're going to have a good time. Come out and support the 1-year anniversary of the Green Door Bookstore and Studio. What do we got going on Friday? We got Zine Night going on.
Zine Night, Artist Night.
Artist Night, which my band Handsome Prick is going to be featured in the Mythos magazine. So all you guys get down there and check that out if you like grindcore, which
I know you do.
And all that crazy fucking shit. And you just like art, you like poetry, you like fucking just being creative. Get down there and check it out. We're gonna have a good time.
Down to Hobart. There's awesome stuff happening down here. I moved out of this town, and this town turns cool. How did that happen? This says a lot about me.
Flying Ryan knows where it's at. He's
Hobart.
like,
all roads lead to Hobart, Indiana.
That's right. Hammond ain't slamming.
If you're anybody, get your asses down here.
I like that. Putting asses in seats. That's what we do at the Green Door Network. Am I right, Big Ed, or what?
We are right, son.
That's right. For everybody online, go and check out Region Reviews. Do all kinds of reviews. There's going to be beer reviews, restaurant reviews,
business reviews, anything
that's local.
Reviews
and
about
with
reviews.
Yeah, reviews about reviews.
Anything associated with the region. We're all trying to network and do big things here. So we'd like everybody to get on board and support Region Reviews, support the Green Door Network and Books and Studio, support Juice Pro Wrestling, and you can follow me at Juice Pro Wrestling on Facebook. Join the Juice Pro Wrestling group on Facebook, which is the JP Woo Hashtag JPWoo, what the fuck you want to do. Juice Pro Wrestling Universe. Join it.
Instagram.
On Twitter, we're at JPDub Podcast. You can email us, jpdubpodcast@gmail.com. Instagram, Juice Pro Wrestling. What else we got? We're on every fucking podcast platform. What are we on now, Sret? Give it to him. Give it to him, Andre. Wait, you know what? Fuck this shit. Fuck you, Sretton.
Yeah, you promised an Andre the Giant impersonation.
Andre, where the fuck can you find Juice Pro Wrestling?
I am here. Nope. I'm under pressure. I cannot do this when I'm under pressure.
Where the fuck, Andre? I don't want to hear about your little teeny weeny princess bride. I want to hear where can you find the
teeny and Winnie? This Winnie, you know he's not teeny.
How many beers have you had tonight, Andre?
57. I don't feel shit.
I don't.
Four bottles of wine.
Hey, Andre, I heard you give no fucks.
No. Zero fucks.
I don't give fuck.
If you want to hear Juice Pro Wrestling, you can hear on all podcasting platforms. This is the longest Andre have ever done. You go to Google Podcast application. You got to go to Apple iTunes. I'm going Latino.
Going Latino.
Accent is turning Latino.
You better.
Hey, yo. Hey, how about, can we channel a little Dolly? Can we get a little Razor in this mix?
I got no reverb because I'm still alive, guys. Me and Dolly are still alive, still kicking, guys. I lost it. I gotta go a little deeper.
Hey, yo.
I gotta go a little deeper. Me and Dolly doing yoga together. We ain't drinking. Ain't no more beers here, man.
No more beers, but plenty of rears.
Plenty of rears. Teaching my son how to do proper clotheslines. Me and Dolly
And
doing
squat thrusts.
Warrior One poses on the beach. Shit.
Hey, all you motherfuckers, you can find us all over social media. Instagram, Twitter, Juice Pro Wrestling, JP Dub Podcast. We're painted all over that motherfucker. We paint the town red. We're going to paint your town red real fucking soon. Thank you all for subscribing. Thank you to all my listeners in Deutschland, which I just found about.
Hell yeah.
You know, we're singing und laufen auf Deutsch.
International.
Yeah, international flavor. That's what we wanted. Savor the flavor, you know?
And you got to thank them for listening to episode 16. The next episode.
Hey, this is El Hugo Libre. For Big Sretton the Savage, for Big Ed the Assassin, and for Flying Riding Bill! Wet 'em up, wet 'em up, wet 'em up, wet 'em up, wet 'em up. You gonna do sex to me?